हेलो एवरीवन। आज का पॉडकास्ट मेरे लिए बहुत स्पेशल है क्योंकि मैं अगर आपको अपना एक्सपीरियंस बताऊं तो मैं क्लास 11-12 में टू स्टेट्स नाम की मूवी निकली थी। तब मुझे तभी से फैंटेसी था कि मुझे IIM अहमदाबाद से MBA करना है। और जब मैं CA कर रहा था मुझे हमेशा दिमाग में ये आता था मुझे नेस्ले में काम करना है, PNG में काम करना है, HUL में काम करना है। वो सब कंपनीज में कैसे ऑपरेट होता है सब कुछ, उसमें CA का क्या रोल होता होगा। मुझे तो ये लगता था कि CA वहाँ पर जाके सिर्फ अकाउंट्स बनाते हैं। तो आज के पॉडकास्ट बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव, बहुत ही एंथुजियास्टिक होने वाला है क्योंकि आज मेरे साथ अभिषेक मुंद्रा है। अभिषेक मुंद्रा इज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और वो 3-3.5 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है उनका एशियन पेंट्स में। तो आज आपको और एक चीज मैं बताता हूँ, अभिषेक मुंद्रा इज डूइंग हिज MBA फ्रॉम IIM अहमदाबाद। तो आज का पॉडकास्ट में अपना दो चीज कवर होने वाला है। एक की इंडस्ट्री का एक्सपीरियंस क्या होता है, उसमें क्या प्रोफाइल्स होते हैं, उसमें कैसा काम कैसा ग्रोथ होता है, और दूसरा कि CA और MBA कैसा एक डेडली कॉम्बो कैसा हो सकता है। तो आज अभिषेक, थैंक यू सो मच फर्स्टली कमिंग टू माय पॉडकास्ट।
Thanks a lot. It's my
सो
pleasure.
अगर एज यूजुअल मेरा सारा पॉडकास्ट में सबसे मैं पूछता हूँ कि आपका CA जर्नी कैसी थी, लाइक व्हाई डिड यू चूज CA एंड आपका ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस द डे व्हेन द रिजल्ट्स पॉप इन।
So, CA करने का एक मोटो ऐसा था कि when you see that herd doing CA and you feel in Kolkata there is a very good culture of CA around you and you see them growing in life, they are achieving so much in life, then you aspire to become that CA, get a tag in itself. So that was the aim, and then started my graduation with St. Xavier's college, BCom honors. 3 years I did, and by the side I cleared my CPT and CA intermediate, and I started my journey with PwC in their audit domain as an
Okay.
article assistant. So there I got a very good exposure. My bosses have been really good in terms of teaching me how things go in a real life, and I used to be the one who used to get into a very big India's biggest steel conglomerate. I used to do the audit of that, and the exposure was very good. They helped me understand what the basics are around, what the corporate culture goes around, how you need to communicate to things and all. So that was my experience in articleship. Then the life told me कि CA करना है, तो the final journey that starts while doing your CA articleship, it turns the deadliest combination that I can say that one gets is you have to manage your articleship and you have to manage your CA final classes and everything. So PwC में articleship करते करते जब तुमको टाइम मिलता है तो you get the time after 9 o'clock only, 9 or 10. Many of the days you get that only. So you have to do your tuitions and all, and you try to cover up the tuitions in the morning. So doing the tuitions and everything, then COVID, I was the COVID batch, November 2020. So that time the term got deferred. So there were two options, January 21. So because I was suffering from COVID, I took the January 21 attempt, and by God's grace, that was one of the toughest terms as far as I remember in CA final. But it was good. The journey was good, and my papers, some of the papers didn't went very nice, I will tell, but it was decent. I didn't know I will clear or not, but somehow it turned out that I got very good marks also, and I got cleared also in CA finals. It was a dream come true, and it was the date of 21st March 2021, I remember. And yeah, from that the journey started, and yeah, we are now it's like he started pursuing my dreams also, whatever I thought of.
Lovely, Abhishek. I want to share one quote that you said that it was the toughest attempt. The only the creamest crack the toughest. You are one of the cream. Doing your articleship from PwC itself is an achievement. Then like clearing your CN first attempt. So that feeling, that having two names in your prefix. How was the feeling and what was your parents' reaction at that day?
uh, my parents had more belief in me than myself, because they thought कि since he has suffered a lot in COVID and everything, and getting that dream come true for him, it's the biggest achievement. So they had that belief कि he will definitely clear up. So I remember that day particularly when I cleared my CA final. So my grandfather, जो मेरे दादाजी हैं वो बगल में खड़े थे, and मेरा भाई बैठा था. So he was just controlling my heartbeats because it was thumping quite a lot. And then what happened is at that time the results got delayed, and the results came out at 9:45 p.m. that day. Somehow there was a technical glitch at ICI's end, and as soon as the results came in, I just saw the pass number. I didn't saw anything. And I just lifted my grandfather. He is a 76-year-old. And it was that feeling very, it's surreal. And when you tell your grandfather that my CA ban gaya, he is the most happiest person that you see there. And so my mom and dad were not in home that time.
Okay.
And so they were inside their rooms and everything, and they were in my friend's home, and the things went. And when I told them, so it was a spiritual setup they were in. So yeah, it was a very surreal feeling for them also.
Lovely, Abhishek. So, your post CA journey, if I say, after clearing CA, आपका next steps क्या था regarding the interview prep and how to apply everything? Being like doing the articleship from Big Four, so you already had an edge over there. So, what was your strategy?
So the strategy was very simple. Try to identify what profile you want to go first. So profiles, maybe there are a hell lot of profiles nowadays where a CA is demanded. Like I tried for all types of profile what I can, but I thought uh, my most vision was towards an role where I can do some mergers and acquisition part or understand how the things go. But I think the strategy that I adopted was of interview is clearing my basics first. So in articleship, you get the practical exposure, but the theoretical exposure that you get from the CA final studies and the CA intermediate, getting that exposure corrected. And second is grooming myself in terms of how you speak towards an interview and the building that self confidence. So that's the one, that's the sole motto that one should have when sitting for an interview. So at that time, my time, it was a COVID time. So in ICI also, I remember only 3 to 4 companies came up because it was the second wave of COVID-19, May 21. So what happened is I got shortlisted in other companies. I'm not naming them, but I thought I will continue with PwC in their audit domain because you get that edge in PwC where you did your articleship. You get that you can continue with your audit part. So I was continuing that, and I was working in an audit domain only. But I thought what could be beneficial for me because I am not achieving what I thought of, like working in an industry. So my particular aim was to go to an industry and work. And once I was done with my year ends and everything, you get that frustration feeling because year ends are quite tough for an auditor.
Yeah.
So as soon as that was done, then I started preparing for interviews basically for each of the companies. Like I applied for Credit Suisse, I applied for Geo, I applied for HUL, I applied for other companies, and I got an interview call from all of them, and I sat for them, and I got shortlisted in all. But in July 1st, I remember I put down my papers. I had 4 offers at that time. I remember one was of Tata Steel, the second one was of Credit Suisse, the others to follow. And then it was a family decision that the offer was in hand, but at July end, the family decision was that you stay in Kolkata only. So then I was like, which profile should I go? Should I pursue someone like my old dream of going to an M&A profile? So then I thought PwC is a very good place. So I directly reached out to some of the colleagues in PwC, like the partner in itself from the FDD domain. So my interview was scheduled, and yeah, I got shortlisted, and I worked there for 1 year in the FDD domain.
Lovely. So, a follow-up question, Abhishek. You got 4 offers and all from industry. So, I have generally seen that people are struggling, like to get a call from industry. So, what was your source of application?
My source of application was directly through their portal.
Okay.
And if you know someone, you can directly reach out to them. That's the utmost benefit that one can get. The second that I see in an industry is how confident your CV looks. That's the basic that a industry sees about. And being a chartered accountant and being in a managerial position leading the finance function, I also take the interviews. And mostly when I see a particular CA CV, I get hardly 30 seconds to reject a CV because the basics are not cleared, or the CV that is structured are very unstructured that I see nowadays by the chartered accountants. So the structuring of CV needs to be good, and most of the companies use some tools, some AI tools,
Yeah,
and the
it is compliant.
filtering. Yes, so they use the filtering tool. So we, as other companies, also use filtering tools. So as soon as the keywords in your CV are pointed in that portal, then only you will be getting the filter out criteria over there. That will, you will be meeting that criteria. Once you meet that criteria, that goes to the hiring manager. The hiring manager also should understand the resume, the content of the resume, and he should feel that the candidate that I'm interviewing, he should be confident enough and it should be fit for the role. So as soon as that is there, then you get that shortlisting call in an industry.
So Abhishek, so first thing I want to conclude over here, the CV should be ATS friendly.
It is only yes.
Second, one question, like I'm very enthusiastic about it. Like if there are 100 CV and all are ATS friendly, then what will be the next criteria to get shortlisted that the CV will be coming to you?
Yeah. So first, what I see is that the depth of work that one has done. So industry always demands not like a specific domain. So if you will see in a big four, if you are going to apply for an audit domain, so the criteria that one sees is whether he knows the name audit related things or not. But when you apply for an industry, the particular thing that we see particularly is how he has gone through his academic career. Second is we see what is his content, what he has worked on. So the worked areas can be like, always industry demands someone who knows everything. Okay, so like in articleship, you would have got an exposure of somewhere like a statutory compliance, like PF, ESIC, PT, TDS, and all, or GST in itself. And the other part is how he has he managed any team or not. Has he been recognized in the company he was working on? And the third thing which we see is how good he is in terms of other things also, like what all languages he know. So in industry, the language also is a very big role that we see, and what all other skills, like uh, is he knowing SAP, is he knowing some other tools which can be good for our industry or our analysis purposes. So for that, we see in depth, the hiring manager sees a in depth study of each and every CV that we get. So we spend around, if the CV is not at all good, it takes hardly 30 seconds to reject a CV. But if it's a good CV and you see that pointers, it takes 1 minute to review a CV, 1 to 2 minutes we decide on the parameters, and we see we align with the role, and then we go about hiring that candidate.
Okay. So does having a rank or like clearing out in first attempt or working in Big Four gets a leverage?
Yeah, definitely that's a leverage in particularly CA domain that I feel. Clearing first attempt is always both groups together that the industry sees
Okay.
at once. And I don't know how other companies go about their hiring, but I can tell about the top notch like the PNG, HUL, Asian Paints, Marico, Nestle, all have the filtering criteria. Like if he has cleared his CA finals or CA intermediate in both the things in first attempt or not. First criteria is that. If that is not meeting, your CV is not going in the portal, or if it's not clearing the system clearance only. Second that we see is he having rank. That's a very good advantage that one sees. And the third thing that we go about is seeing is where he is from and how good has he's in education has been. So I got this information from the hiring managers when I interact with them in Asian Paints, in other companies like Marico and all. So we as corporates, we definitely consult with other corporates. Like we have a common friend circle, so many of our friends work over there. So they also share their inputs. So we got to know. So getting a rank and clearing in first attempt, definitely an added advantage. And Big Four experience nowadays, Big Four grooms you up.
Yeah.
That I can tell you. So I have been from a Big Four. So how you sit, how you talk to people, how how you convince other people, and how good you are in terms of negotiating things. So negotiating in the sense how you put up your point to the clients. So nowadays when you deal with like a MNC or anything, they will definitely defend you on a point. They will try to back you off like anything, but you have to be firm in your analysis and your findings that you can shut the client up. So the things goes like that. So that self confidence the Big Four gives up, and in Big Four, so I was very happy that I got in PwC. So PwC, I was given a very good exposure in terms of leading the client in itself. As a article, they try to give that boost to us. So that was one which I felt that helped me a lot.
Lovely, Abhishek. So the inputs were quite amazing because being a fresher, or if I am planning to give my CA finals, I have everything ready in my mind if I am aiming to work in the dream company. So post clearing CA, you started your journey in M&A. So how was your overall experience in your first job?
So after clearing my CA final, spending somewhere around 4 months in audit, then I moved to the financial due diligence domain of PwC Kolkata.
Okay.
So in Kolkata, mostly my work used to revolve around the Delhi, Mumbai, and the Bangalore team. So the first time that I sat in a due diligence part was of a cake company. So it's a very well-known brand called. I can tell it. It's a deal that's done. So it was
Yeah.
of Cake Zone.
Okay.
So in Bangalore, it's a very famous brand that we have of Cake Zone. So I was doing the due diligence of that, and I got a very good manager in itself who trained me up, who helped me to understand how things go in due diligence, what are the various things that we see in a due diligence part, and what are the negotiating factors that the investment banking team or the client sees. So the inputs that was given, that was lovely. And post that, I got an opportunity sitting with having conversation with various CEOs and CFOs, understanding their vision, how they want to go about the acquisition. We try to find the negotiating factors in that, in a vendor due diligence when we sit, or in a buy side arrangement. So there were other big deals that I was given the opportunity to do. And also, I will tell, FDD is a very niche field, I will tell. So, financial due diligence is a niche field. Why am I telling is because you are not doing somewhere like a routine job of a chartered accountant. You are doing what you are trying to identify what all is going on in the financials of a company. Now, financials, you try to go in depth and understand what is it going wrong and what is it going right. Now you try to establish the trends and establish the dots in itself. So that was one thing that I will never forget that FDD gave me, is creating that dots and
Yeah.
making up a chain in itself, and how the financial speaks. So FDD, when you dismantle the financials and try to rearrange the financial in itself, how an investor looks at
Yeah.
it. So that was the one that I mostly liked about FDD, and it was a short stint. But then I moved to Asian Paints. Asian Paints also had a similar profile in itself, where I was involved. I can't tell whatever happened in Asian Paints, but uh, because that a confidential thing.
Yeah.
But it was a good exposure in itself.
Lovely. So, as I'm aware that after a year you like moved to Asian Paints. So, can you tell me the journey? Like, when did you decided that now I want to move to industry? Question one, and question two, what was the transition process? How did it happen?
Yeah. So in June 2020, I remember I decided to move out of Big Four. So in Big Four, I somewhere felt that I'm becoming a part of somewhere I'm becoming a part of the politics issue that you get about in the Big Four. So I somewhere felt that, and then I moved. I decided to move to an industry. So I was simultaneously giving interviews for 3 companies. So Asian Paints in itself was just shocking to me that Asian Paint gave me a call, and it was a similar profile, due diligence profile that they were looking at, and I was also part of due diligence team. So, and M&A was one area which I also wanted to work in a corporate environment in itself. And that role particularly excited me. Why? Because it was having all types of domains. Like a chartered accountant never sees CSR, or a chartered accountant never
ESG.
gets ESG. The other domains, or like it was having some flavor of internal audit also. It was having some flavor of financially financial preparation also, financial understanding, M&A integration. So it was a very combo role that was being offered by Asian Paints to me. So I cleared my first round. So the hiring manager she was a very good in terms of whatever she was asking, and she has been a very good boss to me also, that I can say, because in terms of learning in Asian Paints, whatever I have heard, I have learned. When that was the time in Mumbai when I spent 1.5 years learning Hinderer. I learned a lot in terms of whatever are the basics, how you try to communicate in industry, how you try to put your points up. Because see, the tragic shift that comes up is when you work in a big four, you are working as a consultant. So consultant has a very limited risk appetite that the consultant takes. So whenever any risky things comes up, the consultant always put his hands up. But in an industry, the onus lies on you.
Okay.
If rupee 1 is not matching or rupee 10 is not matching, there is no materiality concept. You have to justify why it is not matching. Or if something is given to you, bosses are there, bosses will help you, but they will try to first challenge you. So Asian Paints has that culture, and that is very good in itself, where we try to challenge our teammates or the bosses challenge you, so that you in itself groom yourself to make things for the company. And that's how the company progresses and understands the recent trends and matches that. So that was the transition. And बिग फोर से एक कॉर्पोरेट में आना, वो एक बहुत डिफिकल्ट फेज था मेरे लिए, क्योंकि एक तो पहले तो आई वाज अ बॉर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप इन कोलकाता, देन आई मूव टू मुंबई. मुंबई एज अ सिटी इज ह्यूज फॉर someone coming from Kolkata.
Yeah.
Kolkata, you have that liberty, everything is so near, and everything is many reachable things, and you have been born and brought up. That's the best advantage in Kolkata. But in Mumbai, the life itself is fully different. The hustle culture there, and people slogging in and out. When you see that road that you cross about, you will have hundreds of thoughts whether should I cross that road or not. Why? Because you see so many people by the side of you crossing. Now you feel that competition in itself. How will you match that competition?
It's like, yeah, you are playing in your backyard.
Yes.
Now you're entering the stadium.
Yes, definitely. And then how it happened is कि कंसल्टेंट में आई वाज लाइक कि अच्छा ये उसका काम है, वो देख लेगा, ठीक है, या ये उसका डोमेन है, वो कर लेगा. Then I got a feedback that Abhishek, we are not in a consultant role now anymore. We are like you have to take up things on ourselves and get the things done. So that was the shift that I got, and it took me what 2-3 months to get adapted to it. So it's not easy from moving from Big Four to a corporate in itself, and such a fast-paced Asian Paints where things are valued more than and timelines. Asian Paints has a timelines in itself which most industries don't know, but Asian Paints always takes up things proactively. So if any regulations or anything comes up, we as corporate we take up things proactively. Or like we were the first company I remember to establish a supercomputer, but that was the past. But now also we try to take things proactively in terms of getting that things done, and we try to mostly build in-house capabilities. We don't outsource much because we believe internal talents are the most important talent. So that way the company has that confidence in its resources.
So coming towards the transition from consultant to like owner taking ownership. So FDD में तो क्या we issue hold harmless report. यहाँ पर आप किसको कर देने जाओगे? You are accountable.
Exactly. यहाँ fully accountable है. और यहाँ ऐसा है ना कि तुम्हारा काम 3 जन चेक करता है.
हाँ.
तो तुम्हारा काम जैसे तुम्हारा बॉस तो करेगा ही करेगा, और बीइंग अ लिस्टेड कंपनी बाहर में शेयर होल्डर्स भी बैठे हैं, एंड market players, investment bankers, everyone, the analyst, equity analysts, and everyone are there. So whenever anything goes wrong, they will pinpoint you. So ऐसा कभी हुआ नहीं है कि एशियन पेंट्स में कभी कुछ भी आया है, या कोई भी कॉर्पोरेट में ऐसा नहीं होता है कि कभी कुछ भी आता है. बट इफ एनीथिंग गोज रॉन्ग, दैट्स totally gone for you as a chartered accountant.
And Abhishek, like, how do industry people see people coming from Big Four? So उनका views क्या Big Four के employee के हिसाब से?
It's a very good view because why I will tell, industry क्या demand करता है is you know how you speak. First is Big Four trains you up for that. Second is if someone has handled Big Four pressure, because in industry also there are a lot of things that comes up in terms of pressure period. So the belief is there, if he has been given the task, I will definitely do it. And third is what I see when I see the resumes, and my manager also sees the resumes. We see that Big Four people have covered a lot when compared to other articles or other firms or other, like I will tell now this trend is going for others also, other firms also, because they have also started that trend where they give the articles the opportunity to go in front hand and get the things done.
Yeah.
So that is one that's added advantage that one gets in moving from Big Four to a corporate.
And if I talk about the cultural shift, so what are the cultural differences you felt in Big Four versus in industry?
Cultural shift, one only I will tell is the consultant mindset. That's the difference that you get. Otherwise, culture in itself, see, industry has a different culture in itself where you have the timeline bound things. You have to publish the results. You have to produce the analysis so that strategic decisions of the company can be taken. But here, in supposedly an audit profile or FDD, just you publish the report, your things are done. Now it's upon the management whether they go about changing that or not, or whether they want to use that analysis or use that report that we have published for an FTD that we have done, or a vendor due diligence or a buy side due diligence. So that's only I can say.
And what about like work life, or if I say not work life specifically, but culture, as in like in Big Four, like you are expected to work on weekends, or you are seeing as a resource. So in case of industry, is this the same thing? Like you are treated as a resource, or a part of a family in this?
So it's a family in itself.
Okay.
So family में कैसा होता है कि if you are in a part of a company, you own that things up here and you signed up for that. So when you signed up, either it's a weekend or anything, but if a timeline is there, you will have to achieve that. And that's the thing that we as corporate always aspire, and कि timelines में कभी भी lapses नहीं होना चाहिए. And the second thing is, जो 9 to 5 वाला जो एक थिंग बैठा हुआ है लोगों के माइंड में कि एक इंडस्ट्री में 9 to 5 ही होता है, दैट्स अ वेरी बिग मिथ. दैट्स अ वेरी बिग मिथ दैट आई कैन से, बिकॉज इंडस्ट्री में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है 9 to 5. व्हेन द रोल डिमांड्स, there would be lean periods also, there would be good periods also, and there would be the worst periods also. So yeah.
And Abhishek, if I say you like, if I'm a fresher, should I join a Big Four or should I join an industry? So, like, if from your wisdom, so what are your views about it?
See, there are two sides to it. What I can say, if you have got a very good exposure in terms of your articleship, okay, like a tier one or a tier two articleship firm, then I think going to a corporate will definitely help you a lot. Why am I telling it? Because you have got that exposure. Because since you are a Big Four article, you have seen how the Big Four works. Now you should get an exposure of industry. If you are not feeling that vibe from the industry or not enjoying the work that you are doing, you can definitely move to a Big Four. Okay, but particularly from like a tier three, if someone has done the articleship from a tier three firm, and that's a very good advantage because he knows everything how the things are done at a lower level in the sense like small clients. Okay,
Yeah.
but that small clients knowledge that he gets, he tries to leverage it in the big clients. So that is one I feel that's an added advantage in a Big Four that one can get. So for them, I will tell, because uh, it's an added advantage to go for a Big Four if you are not getting in an industry. But if they can also keep a first preference towards industry, that I can see.
One more thing, Abhishek, I want to like highlight again and again, like how to apply in what's the ideal way to like crack job in industry. So from my perspective, if I say I can apply through the job portals and also through LinkedIn. So we had on a joking note, we friends used to say that this company makes ply, so it must be Century Ply. Let's apply over there.
Yeah.
So how to like vouch for a particular industry? So there are thousands of companies which are listed. So which companies to aim for?
See, that's a very good question in itself, but I will tell, if you are getting in a top notch, like somewhere you get the chance and your CV is getting shortlisted in somewhere like the top tier ones, top tier corporates, which are the most high paying for a CAs, like the HULs, PNGs, Marico, Nestle, Colgate, you should go for them definitely. But whatever profile that you are getting that aligns with your beliefs and what you want to pursue in your career. And particularly for the others, I will tell, nowadays various companies are there, various industries are there. Each and every company in itself is having a different dimension. So let's take an example of JSW or a Tata Steel. They are in the business of steel. The exposure that you get in a plant, the best thing that you can get, that I will say, being an article, I have seen how the plant and everything works, but that exposure gives you how you talk with the daily wage workers there, how you negotiate the terms with the other vendors at the plant area, how you contribute things to the plant productivity. So yeah, that's what I can say. Someone who is going for as a fresher, try for something which is a good top-notch companies where you can get the exposure. Like manufacturing setup gives you a lot of exposure that I am biased towards, but I don't know. If someone nowadays, banks also are very good hyping, and the things that one can get in banks, because banks may, there are a lot of things that are going on, lot of developments. So banks also are one area, and the other areas are the startups. So managing two subsidiaries of Asian Paint, those work as startups. So the startup that you see and you build things around, that will give you the most self confidence, and the self worth that one can get is you have built it up. So, and it will be like you will be treating it as a family.
Yeah.
So startup में that's the basic difference than an industry. Industry में वो रहता है कि जैसे एक था ना सहारा परिवार,
Yeah.
वैसा तुमको लगेगा बस तुम एक बट छोटे से रहोगे, बट स्टार्टअप में कैसा है, तुमको वो रिकग्निशन मिलता है. So what I have seen in my friends and when I converse with my friends working in startups, various big startups, वो एक जो feeling रहता है ना when you establish that number. So I have felt that because being a startup in Asian Paints, when you put your 100%, 200%, 100% as a team, and you try to bring that synergy in the team to get that one number, and you achieve that number, that's the most beautiful feeling that as a team you get. So
Lovely, Abhishek.
yeah, that's, I will tell, one can get in a startup. So there are multiple domains now. So whatever aligns to his role and whatever things he get, he should definitely go for it. And secondly is nowadays getting a call for corporate. If you are getting that call from a corporate, if it's a good company and see, पैसे तो ठीक है, पैसे अभी तुम थोड़ा कम भी कमा लो. Normally, an average CA as a fresher when he joins, he will earn at around 12 lakhs. Okay? If you get that 12 lakhs also, but you are getting that corporate exposure, you should definitely go for that. Say Big Fours also will be paying you in the same range only. But Big Fours may, if you would have seen Big Four, definitely not go. But if you are a tier 3 firm, you should go for a Big Four. But if you're a tier 2 or a tier 1 firm, then I think going for a corporate will give you that added advantage. And money is secondary, I will tell. For first 2 years as a chartered accountant, you should try to gather all the things that you get in the market, all the skills that you get. And once that is there, though, there is no limit for a chartered accountant to earn in the industry.
So initially, one should not focus on the money. It should focus on the
role and the skills that he is getting there. That will be the most added advantage. And see, that forms the base for him.
Yeah.
So first 2 years, you as a chartered accountant, you will try to garner as much things as you can. But if your base is only not right, then it will be a very bad experience for you, because as soon as you gain that experience, people have that demanding part. अरे तो इसको पता ही होगा.
हाँ.
But वो बंदा अगर करने बैठेगा उसको वो ही नहीं पता है, तो फिर तो मैनेजर के ऊपर सर दर्द हो जाएगा.
एक फॉल्स इंप्रेशन बन जाएगा.
वो एक दिक्कत हो जाएगा फिर, तो वो हार्ड हो जाता है फिर एक इंडस्ट्री में. फिर वो स्केल अप करना हार्ड हो जाएगा, वो फिर आप बीच के रह जाओगे.
सो गाइस, टू कंक्लूड टिल नाउ, तो पैसे के पीछे मत भागिए अभी शुरुआत में. गो फॉर द रोल. एंड इफ आई समराइज टिल येट, तो अगर इफ यू हैव डन योर आर्टिकलशिप फ्रॉम tier 2 और tier 3 एंड यू आर नॉट गेटिंग जॉब इन इंडस्ट्री, देन गो फॉर बिग फोर. बिग फोर में जाइए, अपना बेस बनाइए, देन टेक अ स्विच. 1 to 2 years हार्डली मैटर्स. एंड इफ यू आर ऑलरेडी डन योर आर्टिकलशिप फ्रॉम like big four, then go for industry. Now there are various type of nomenclatures in industry. Durable goods हो गया, फिर then FMCGs हो गई. Then we have startups, as you said, and then plant-based companies, manufacturing companies. So depending upon, you have to analyze the risk and reward. So in startups, there is always a risk. Like recently, Dream 11, Gramescraft, there are mass layoff over there. 90% of the employees have been laid off.
So my friends were there, and
Yeah.
so Dream 11 office is in the same building that we have.
Okay.
So I was seeing people crying. Some of my CA people, when the layoff happened, they were crying when I was there having lunch, and that was one. But the exposure that they got was good. The exposure was good, but the risk angle is always there,
Yes.
as you mentioned.
And like if you are aiming to work in the manufacturing company, then you can aspire like the companies like Tata Steel and others. Then you can make a switch among them only, and you can have a good like commercial role over there. And if you're for me, I have a personal biasness for FMCG because many of my seniors have worked in FMCG, and there are lots of biasness and lots of I've heard lot of positive things like in FMCG.
FMCG has its perks. FMCG में, see, the workload is also not that much. Okay, the workload is there, but the
Yeah.
exposure that is there is good, and these are very fast moving goods.
Yeah.
So you have to be agile in the market. So that agility which you get in FMCG, that's why people tend to go towards FMCG, and they are one of the most highest paying for a starter accountant. And why they pay highest? Because they want some creative minds and one of the strategic minds to grow their company. Because in FMCG, you always see that there is a cut to cut competition that goes on. So how to cut that competition with your competitors? That's why the company is paying you.
You have to be in your toes.
If you have to be in your toes.
मेरे पापा हमेशा बोलते थे कि अगर तुम्हारा बॉस का अच्छा नहीं हो रहा तो तुम्हारा अच्छा कभी नहीं करेगा. तो ऑलवेज चूज द राइट कंपनी. तो अगर आप एक बड़े हाथी के काम कर रहे हो तो आपको हमेशा उसका पर्क्स तो मिलेगा ही. सो try to be in a big organization like for initial 4 to 5 years, then you can take a call, take a risk, because there's always an option to roll back. So these are the certain inputs from us. So let's we will not confuse and deviate from the topic. Now we will entirely focus on what happens in the industry, how do people work over there, what are the profiles, so they can completely relate our last 15 minutes discussion.
Okay.
तो अभी तक अपने जो कवर किए उसमें अपने जाने अभिषेक के जर्नी के ओवरऑल बारे में, उनके विजडम के बारे में, उनका ओवरऑल बिग फॉर एन इंडस्ट्री का एक्सपीरियंस. देन वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट कि इंडस्ट्री में अपने को कौन सा प्रोफाइल में एम करना चाहिए, कौन सा कंपनीज को एम करना चाहिए, एंड उसका क्राइटेरिया क्या है. बट एक्चुअली में इंडस्ट्री में काम क्या होता है उसके बारे में आप इन डेप्थ जानते हैं, बिकॉज बीइंग अ सीए, एक सीए का काम सिर्फ अकाउंट्स बनाना नहीं होता. तो इंडस्ट्री में बहुत सारे रोल्स है, जैसे ट्रेजरी हो गया, जैसे सप्लाई चेन हो गया, जैसे कमर्शियल फाइनेंस हो गया, एफपीएनए हो गया. उसके बारे में हम लोग इन डेप्थ जानेंगे अभिषेक से कि इंडस्ट्री में एक्चुअली में काम क्या होता है. सो कैन यू गिव अ जिस्ट अबाउट व्हाट आर द roles that are open for a CA in industry?
So there are multiple roles. So one is the controller part, who makes the financial statements and everything. The second is in terms of taxation where you handle the direct and indirect tax vertical. Direct taxes means the income taxes related compliance. The second is the indirect taxes where you comply with the GST, customs and all compliances. This is the one, and then you have FP&A, financial planning and analysis part. The FP&A team does what is they try to align the numbers in terms of whatever the controller team has reported the numbers, whether that is aligning with the budgets or not, whatever the financial plans of the company or not, and they try to analyze what can be the strategic point of the company, what can be the strategic avenues, are they aligning with the goals or not. So financial planning analysis works in that way. The second is business finance. So business finance in itself is where you are given a particular vertical of a company and you try to drive the profitability of that division in itself or a particular product. So that is business finance. And the other areas are the supply chain finance. Supply chain finance in itself is a very broad area for chartered accountants, and a hell lot of opportunities are there here because nowadays every company wants its supply chain to be perfect.
Yeah.
And it should have the cost benefit for the company. So they are trying to invest a lot for, and most of the CAs, I will tell, very good opportunity for CAs are there. It's a booming part nowadays. Many companies are hiring in their supply chain division. Supply chain is there.
Treasury.
Then commercial team is there. Commercial management part is there, where you negotiate with the vendors, negotiate with the customers part. How we can bring about the money to the company. How we can, supposedly your sales team has taken a call. They have aligned the credit period. Are those credit periods favorable for the company or not. So that way the operations part comes in the role. And as you mentioned, treasury in itself is a very big, because that's the backbone of a company that defines how your cash inflows and cash outflows are planned of the company, and what could be the best risk mitigation strategies like hedging or taking some options of futures or anything to cover your forex or any other price fluctuations or anything. And there are other areas nowadays chartered accountants are being hired is they are hired in secretarial departments also, because chartered accountants know the secretarial and the company law quite good. So some of the chartered accountants are hired there also. And the other area that is booming is the ESG.
Okay.
So nowadays the ESG goals, all of the corporates are trying to achieve that. So chartered accountants can play a role in that also. And the last bit I can say is the investor relations. So lot of startups are going on, going for the funding spree, and as soon as they are going, they have to manage all their investors. So and investors always try to achieve what are the numbers and everything to maintain that confidence and to maintain that. So the companies try to hire chartered accountants to balance the financial angle also and the non-financial angle also. So yeah.
As a CA, I have seen like people have joined internal audit or controllership to start in the industry. Then they gradually move to FP&A or business finance. So as a fresher, what are the profiles generally that are open for freshers?
All types of profiles are nowadays open
Like a
for that.
fresher can also work in business finance team also.
Yeah, definitely. Nowadays, there is no barrier like he's a fresher, he's not given the opportunity. As I mentioned
Yeah.
previously in my statement, is the requisite skill sets are there or not, and once you take the interview of that person, you will get that confidence. What could be the specific or the best domain for himself? Supposedly, a person who is giving an interview for a business finance, but his tax is so good that the interviewer always gets fascinated, and he will tell his colleague that you should hire him for tax, and that internal difference will get you a job in tax.
Okay.
So the hiring managers tell, in when we converse, we always try to, supposedly I get a CV today, okay, and I feel that he can be an added advantage to the head office corporate team, the treasury team. So I forward them the resume because he has applied for my role like a financial controller or a financial planning and analysis team. But seeing his skill sets and everything, when we took the interview, we found that he is good for treasury too. Treasury would be the best thing.
Talent scouting.
Yeah, you can tell.
As a CA, like which profile is has more potential, like which is most favorable? So
I have no answers for this because every profile in itself is a niche role that I will tell one gets, and you get an holistic in industry. Everything is are interconnected, so you get an understanding from each of the profiles. So if you are a treasury person, you have to understand from the FP&A team what are you planning, what how you are planning the working capital of the company. Then they give their inputs, they give their projected numbers, and you try to match the projected numbers, are they getting or not. Now you are the financial controller. Okay, if you are in the controllership role, you publish the numbers, you get the numbers to the FP&A team. FP&A team will ask you follow-up questions. Then you also have to try to derive whatever they have planned or what they have done. You try to understand that and communicate with them. So particular department for a fresher, I don't think so there is some particular department. If you're getting a good opportunity in itself where you are getting that talent, I think so you should go for it. You should be selfish around the, if you are getting an industry and you're getting to work supposedly a particular profile which matches to your skill set.
yeah.
If it's not aligned to a skill set, supposedly a one person is having a fascination toward tax only, go for tax. If you're not having that skill set, build that skill sets.
So if I want to give an input, I feel that a fresher should firstly aim to understand the business of the company.
Yes.
So he should enter the roots of the company, like controllership or business finance, to have a
Business
complete knowledge.
finance, internal audit is a very good thing,
Yeah.
to understand how the business function, because and treasury also is a good profile. Treasury, I think so, mostly experienced persons handle.
Yeah.
Mostly freshers I have not seen much in treasury, but yeah, treasury is also one domain which one can see it. But financial controller and FP&A, definitely go for it.
Abhishek, what are the increments and pay range in industry for a fresher?
The average that I have seen in industry is 15 lakhs, 15 to 20 lakhs. 15 lakhs is uh, for the 20 lakhs, I can say, for the tier one, for like 1 to 2 years of experience, and there is no limit. If I talk about HULs, Marecos, and all, they have higher pay scale. Okay, that is publicly available, so one can see. But Big Fours normally they are paying at around what 12 lakhs. What I have seen their average package, and the second is the other areas like small startups and all. They are also paying 50, 13, 14 lakhs. So in increments, Big Four increments you can't compare to an industry. Industry में how the increment goes is 4%, 5%, 6% in an established corporate, and for others like the startups may the increment is around 15%, 20%, 55. I've seen 50% also. Some of my friends getting increment. That's there. And for Big Fours, 20, 25, 15 ranges according to the performance of the Big Four or the vertical in itself. And there is always a bonus component, variable component is always there. So yeah.
So, if I say, if I see a financial projection in Big Four versus a financial projection in industry, so should I keep only the financial projection in mind, as you said that 5 to 6% in case of industry, but 15% in case of Big Four. So, what are your views about it? If I see a long-term perspective,
See, in Big Four, if you go about, okay, Big Fours are totally different in terms of their pay scale and everything. And the trajectory, the money that you will get in a Big Four can't be compared to an industry. Because, see, if I say both are at 10 lakhs,
yeah.
every year you are getting in a Big Four like 15% increment. That will turn to 11.5, then 12.25, how it goes. And for an industry, that will go at 6%, 7%, 8%, 10%, max 10%, 12%. So you're not getting that leverage. But the things that you're doing here, you are doing as a consultant. You're doing for someone else, and that someone else will never remember you. That someone else will say, okay, I've got the report, my things are done. Okay, tata bye bye. But in an industry, it's your ownership, your company. You get that self feeling and you get that added advantage where you can, in Big Fours, you are na specific domains are only there. There is no, yeah, what I have seen is
Yeah.
getting shift in Big Fours is hard. But in an industry, if the management believes you, like you will have to shift. So in HUL, there is a culture that you have to shift in every 2 years.
Future leadership program.
That's there, but in the normal, if you join their company,
Yeah.
they try to shift roles in 2 years.
Okay.
So that way, how the company goes, and all the FMCG companies are trying to adapt that.
If I like have a follow-up question, can you enlighten something about future leadership program in the top
Uh,
companies?
that's a program where mostly rankers, what I've heard and what I've seen around is the rankers go, and that's a program where you get the holistic idea of the company. They try to keep you in stints for 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, and different profiles. So you get the idea of all the profiles from the financial and non-financial things. So yeah, that's the program.
Personally, if I come back towards that increment thing, what I feel like the investment banker or a PEVC is paying crazy money, but they are taking everything out of you from 16 to 18 hours of working. It is not sustainable in the long run.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I feel, I have that conclusion in my mind that everyone is working for an early retirement, like the to earn their
Yeah.
fire number. So in an industry, you can have your time, you can have your space, you can have your family time also. You can also take the ownership and build your empire.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can like work for 45 to 50. But in Big Four, I've seen generally people don't have so much survival.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I come towards like consulting or industry, then also people are dying out of heart attacks. So you have to take that balance. And money is not everything, what I feel.
Money is not everything. That
Yeah.
too, it's primary thing. See, money. If you are in your bachelor's, you
Yeah.
can go about. Yeah, you can do it. But once you are like crossing somewhere like 3 4 years, supposedly like 28 or 29, then you try to get married and everything. You try to find something stable in your life.
Yeah.
Money is not that important that time.
And Abhishek, what about promotions? Like Big Four promotion versus promotions in industry. So in Big Four, generally in every 2 to 3 years there is a promotion.
In industry, that's not the logic in how it goes. And it varies industry to industry. So FMCGs, you will see somewhere a chartered accountant, they have their cadre system. So in that, the promotions will be not based on time or anything. It will be based on your professional achievement that you have done. So
Okay.
it's not that in Big Four how it goes by time or anything. It's not valid for corporates.
So Abhishek, if my end goal is to become a CFO of a company, so as a fresher, how do you aspire to become a CFO of a company like 10 to 15 years down the line?
You have to get knowledge of everything first. First, you have to try to establish communications with all departments, and then you have to understand what they are doing. And understanding in itself is not important. How they do it is more important, and how they do it practically. Okay, because as a CFO, your job is to do what? You have to manage all the roles of the finance in one domain as a one person. And as soon as you are doing that, you will have to understand that you will have to have knowledge of all. If one misses, then you as the CFO has failed. Because the CEO will ask now why this timeline was missed. Then you as the CFO has to answer. वो point है. So you have to have the knowledge of all, and you have to start building that. मैंने from the first year down the line, and in industry you can demand also. Supposedly one profile you have seen for like 2 years, you can demand, I want to shift to another profile, and if the management has confidence, they will definitely ask you to shift.
So if does a CA also become a CEO company, or like the end goal is only CFO?
Nowadays anyone can do anything. I can tell, and that's when your other skill sets comes up, your other things that you are doing up in your life.
Yeah.
So if you have a good people management skills, you are good in making businesses, you're good in running businesses, then the CEO is not a thing that you will not get. You will get it like once the everyone has a confidence in you.
So Abhishek, I am definitely sure that you have met the chairmans of the company or like the
Yeah,
boards
yeah.
of the company. So coming like reaching there, like matching their footsteps, does loyalty matters? Like
Yeah.
if I am switching in every 2 to 3 years versus if I'm like working in a company for like next 10 to 15 years, which will give me good results. Does loyalty matters a lot?
See, I don't have a clear cut answer to it, but nowadays, loyalty, there was a previous concept in terms of loyalty is royalty.
Yeah.
Okay. For the companies in itself. But now, how the things are moving and how the fast paced environment is moving, you should be selfish. You should go about which is matching to your skill set and how you can leverage that to get a better opportunity. And in the end, I don't talk about money, but here, if you are getting a good advantage over the terms of money or any exposure or the skill sets that you are getting, you can go about. It's not that you shouldn't go about, because see, I am also a chartered accountant who has an experience of what, 4.5 years, 5 years. Okay, now I will also try to switch only,
Yeah.
because you tend to see in corporates the positions are limited. In big fours you create positions,
Yeah.
and there is a lot of attrition. In corporates, if the top level decides, then upper level comes up. So it's hard to climb the ladder in a corporate. So then what happens is you try to switch.
Inorganic growth.
In organic growth,
Yeah.
organically, how much you can try, you are trying your level best. But if the upper person is only not resigning, or your immediate someone has to resign, then only you can climb that ladder. So if that is not coming up, so it becomes hard. And switching, I don't see any harm. I mean, nowadays
One
it's
has to be
common.
dynamic.
One has to be dynamic, and if you're getting a good role, definitely.
Abhishek, what are the hotspots location to work for? Like employee in Mumbai versus employee in Gurugram, or employee in Bangalore, or an employee in Kolkata. Do
For
you see any
CAs,
changes? Like there's
for
any?
CAs, I feel nowadays the hotspot location has changed, as you mentioned. First is primary is Mumbai.
Yeah.
Second, I can tell is Gurgaon for CAs. Third, I feel Bangalore. Fourth, I will tell Pune and Hyderabad are same. So
So the
And
exposures are different all across.
exposures are not different. I mean, most of the corporates are different. So
Yeah,
the corporates that
mostly
are
FS is in
there,
Mumbai.
I mean, FMCG companies
Yeah,
and the major, I mean, the top-notch companies are there in Mumbai. The second, Delhi, I mean, Gurgaon and the Delhi NCR belt. There are a lot of big corporates like the aviation sector fully it is there, and there are other good companies like the those in the electric appliances like Samsung, LG. Those are all there in Gurgaon. Many good startups are there. Oyo is there. Then Zomato is there in Gurgaon.
all manufacturing based
All
companies are in Gurgaon.
not manufacturing only. Many of the big startups are also there. Paytm is in Noida, I remember.
Okay.
Noida, they have their office, and Bangalore, mein, there are a lot of good company like um, you can say Wipro is there. The electronic sector full is in
Infosys also.
Infosys is there. You have Diageo in Bangalore.
ITC
So
also.
ITC is there. ITC small division is there, but ITC is there. ITC major part is the plant locations and the Kolkata part. So many persons don't prefer Kolkata, so I'm not speaking Kolkata.
Abhishek, what is the role of network? Like, how important is networking as of now?
Very big thing that one should try to aspire and talk to everyone and try to build that connection with him or her. You don't know. Today you don't know whether you will be needing that person or not.
Yeah.
But in the future, definitely you can need that. And I have faith that in my personal life, supposedly you meet someone who is a good chartered accountant who is in practice. Okay. You as the finance head, now you require someone who is good and reliable to do the work for you. Then you contact that friend. Bhai, tu ye karte ka kya? Then that network builds up around you and you try to leverage that. Supposedly, many of my friends are there who are in KPMG at a very senior role. They call me up, brother, if you know someone who is in industry and he's willing to do this work,
Yeah.
or the client is asking if someone you know who can take up this profile, they try they try to reach out to you. Then you try to leverage that and you tell them, yeah, he is of this profile and you can definitely hire him. So definitely network works, and word of mouth communication works a lot when
You have to build
networking.
that rapport.
Rapport and
Hmm.
word of mouth, it works a lot when someone asks you na, at such a senior position in KPMG, the partner and the directors are calling you. If you know someone, then you recommend that person to him or her. You know that, then you recommend him, and the things work out. That's an added advantage only.
Today, what I feel that my net worth is my network only.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
leveraged that a lot. Even we have like met once in Bangalore, and now
yeah,
today we are doing podcast
yeah,
together.
yeah,
So I feel that it is the most important thing for me as of now. It's my
yeah,
biggest asset.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely.
So Abhishek, coming towards myths about the industry that we have. So first myth that you have burst out is 9 to 5. So it's not
Yeah.
9 to 5. Second, do we have limited growth or limited switch opportunities in industry?
No, that's myth. We have a lot of opportunities in industry.
Because there are thousands of companies that are ready to take
Thousands
you.
of companies, and in your current company
Hmm.
only roles are created, and you try to leverage that, and you can ask also.
Yeah.
The industries, corporates always tend to give you that benefit where they ask you if you want a shift. Definitely, they agree upon.
There are lots of office politics in industry.
No,
So it's a myth.
it's a myth. It depends on you, your team, how it goes about. But I have not seen office politics or anything that doesn't go about. If you have that requisite talent, and if you have that financial, how the company is also going, that depends on that
Yeah.
also. So I don't see that happening.
AI is gonna kill jobs a lot in controllership or in other roles.
No, they will support you, or they will help you to attain your the frequency or the speed that you talk about. So I don't see that anything is going about at present. I don't see 10 years though. I don't see for finance anything going around AI.
So I want to more focus on AI. So in my company, in Big Four, they have bought Copilot and also in-house apps for AI. So how is the industry accepting the new thing?
So in we have also accepted Copilot.
Okay.
Okay, and but yeah, there are chances being listed companies and all. There are chances where data security is one major area which every corporate looks about. How the vulnerability of data that is happening around. if you see, that is very important. But nowadays corporates are also having, many of my friends are there in other corporates where the other AI modules like the ChatGPT or
Yeah.
the Gemini or other tools are being used. So in one of my company we are using Gemini, and for others we as Asian Paints we use Copilot. So yeah, but the data security policy is always established before using that. So in corporate, that is the one of the most important decision that a corporate takes before using these tools.
So AI is not a threat; it's a boon for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So any additional myth that you want to cover, if any?
People always tell that कि corporate है तो टाइमलाइन वाइमलाइन कुछ है
हाँ.
नहीं, या तुम लोग का तो अच्छा रहता है कि हम लोग का जैसे हर समय you compare to a big four and a corporate, you always get that feeling from your friend that यार हमारा तो रोज का ही कोई ना कोई client आ जाता है, but in corporate you have to do it every day. So that's a myth that anyone has कि you have your own timelines
Yeah.
and you have your own things that you need to take up. So that's a very big myth that comes around in when you compare big four and the corporates.
थैंक यू. तो अभी तक अपने जो कवर किए उसमें अपने इंडस्ट्री का सारा मिथ्स, इंडस्ट्री का इनडेप्थ नॉलेज अभिषेक के गाइडेंस के थ्रू आपने जाने. नाउ वी कवर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, एमबीए. सो इज एमबीए जस्ट अ फैंसी डिग्री और इट्स अ ट्रूली वैल्यू एडिशन फॉर यू? क्या एमबीए इन फाइनेंस करके एक सीए और एमबीए करके एक बहुत बड़ा डेडली कॉम्बो होगा? क्या आपके पास नए ट्रांचेस खुलेंगे? सो इन द सेकेंड सेशन अभी अपने को इस चीज़ की पूरी क्लैरिटी मिलने वाली है कि हु शुड डू सीए प्लस एमबीए. सो Abhishek, first question. Why MBA after CA?
So mine was very simple. So when I was doing my corporate life and everything, so somehow I felt is that I'm not doing justice to myself, like if I'm seeing a weekend or anything. So then I thought, let's do it something value addition. So then I started pursuing something called MBA. And MBA always, when a person clears his class 11, 12, he always has in the back of mind that if nothing works out, then MBA should be there. So when I got that opportunity, I was like, let's go for it. And but in the back of the mind, I had that I wanted to do it from something big. So then I remember 2024, April 2024, when I was struggling a lot with my job because it was a hell lot of pressure for me
Hmm.
managing two subsidiaries, and it was a new thing for me. And then you somehow felt that low in confidence. Then I felt that why not transition in another career, another field in itself. So then I thought, ki, let's do MBA. So then I applied for the MBA part, and yeah, it was a different program in itself, and the things worked out.
So how is the feeling when you the first time you entered IIM Ahmedabad?
So it was a biggest, no one knew. So this story I am sharing with in your podcast
Yeah.
only. So what happened is ki in April I decided that I want to pursue my career in MBA. Okay, and but I didn't wanted to leave my job because I was liking my job, but somehow I had that feeling that I'm not doing justice to myself. Okay, so then what happened is ki I had a word with one of my brother. So he is IIM Ahmedabad. He's a gold medalist from IIM Ahmedabad. So I was having a word with him. Then I saw a program in IIM Ahmedabad. So it was named a blended post graduation program in management, the MBA degree that you get. So the difference only was there that in PGP you have to go in the campus. You have to stay in the campus. You have to leave your job and everything. Then this degree was there where you, as a working professional, you can do your job and the full time MBA. So it's a 2 year MBA program
Okay.
that was there. Then I did what? I researched on it and I asked my brother. Brother also had a conversation within his alumni network and everything, and then he told, "Go for it, because if I am Ahmedabad has launched something, definitely it will be worth for it." So then I filled up the form and everything. Then the exam. So there were three modes so that you could have cleared their first round of exams. One is by giving their own exam. So they conduct the I8E name exam that's specific to IIM Ahmedabad, PPGP only. And the second is the CAT, GMAT, GRE scores. And the third was the GMAT score. Sorry, CAT is one route, and the
Yeah.
GMAT scores, the third one.
Oh, they accept GMAT score also.
GMAT score also. Yeah, and that was one. So I gave the IIT exams. It's the normal CAT exam only, but then somehow I didn't told my parents also that I am going to sit for an exam. Only my brother knew because I was staying with him in Bangalore. So I just gave the exam. My exam the exam date was here, and I woke up at around 12 o'clock. My exam was scheduled at around 2. I asked my brother should I go or not because I'm having that feeling whether should I go or not, how will I manage and everything. Then he just told go, just linger around and come up. Then I went there and I gave the exams, and when I came back after 15-20 days, the results came out. I just saw my mail and I saw that I cleared my exams. I was like, I never, I was shocked because how did I achieve it? Because I studied not much, but something I studied somehow I got cleared, and it was like because my maths were so my maths was very good. From starting till date, my maths has been very good. So that helped me, and my logical reasoning, and that was good. So yeah, that helped me. And as soon as exams got cleared, I got in the interview call. So my brother, I am Ahmedabad gold medalist. He helped me prepare for the interviews. The first interview that I gave with him, I was bomb blasted by him. He asked me anything.
So it was a mock interview.
It was a mock interview. He asked me anything. He asked me everything that he could, so that he trains me. And once that was done, then what happened is, as soon as he told me you have done a good job in your interview, but you need to study more or you need to prepare more. So one day before he took again my interview, and somehow he asked questions relating to my job profile and Asian Paints as a company. And what happened is, when I sat for the interviewers also asked me about my job profile and Asian Paints. So that matched. And the mock interview helped me crack my interview in IIM Ahmedabad. And when I got the confirmation from IIM Ahmedabad, I just called my parents and I told that I have been admitted to IIM Ahmedabad. They are like, तूने कभी पढ़ा नहीं, कभी कुछ दिया नहीं, कुछ किया नहीं, फिर तेरा IIM Ahmedabad कैसे हो गया? तो then my mom is telling, बेवकूफ़ किसी और को बना. ठीक है. सो आई एम लाइक, फिर मैंने उनको व्हाट्सएप भेजा, तो बोलते हैं एडिट करके दी है तूने. तो वो भी नहीं मान रहे थे. फिर मेरे भाई ने फ़ोन करके बोला, तो देन दे अग्रीड. एंड फिर जब हुआ, फिर 1 सितंबर को मेरा फर्स्ट डे था अहमदाबाद में. सो मी, माई मॉम एंड माई डैड, all of them went and explored the campus. The surreal feeling when you step in the campus of IIM Ahmedabad, you can never imagine. And when you step and you sit in that chairs where the extreme talented individuals of all around the world, they are spread around, they have sat there, and you feel that classroom environment, and you make the parents proud, and they are sitting in the same chair as you are. So they are also allowed to come in campus, and they are allowed to sit in the classroom chairs and all the campus environment. So that was a very surreal feeling. And when you meet your batchmates, so you, जैसे आप सीए करते हो ना, आपको एक जब एग्जाम में जाते हो तब इतने लोगों को देखते हो पढ़ते हुए, तब आपको लगता है यार मेरे को तो कुछ आता नहीं है, ये एक हर समय फीलिंग रहती है. वैसे ही आपको जब आप IIM अहमदाबाद में जाते हो, आप वो कदम रखते हो, आप अपने सामने सारे इंडिविजुअल्स को देखते हो और सब अपने फील्ड्स में एक्सीलेंट है. तो वो एक आपको अंदर से आता है, सब अच्छे है यार, कुछ और अच्छा करना होगा. तो दैट्स हाउ इट वेंट अबाउट द फीलिंग ऑफ IIM अहमदाबाद. बट MBA करना था, और एक और रीजन था, बहुत लेम रीजन है, आई शुडंट टेल इन योर पॉडकास्ट, इज एज अ CA you always have the prefix in your name, CA, but you can also add a suffix now. And suffix only from a big institute. So that was my thought कि वो बचपन का एक थॉट होता है ना कि नाम बड़ा दिखना चाहिए. तो वैसे
I am waiting for your convocation. Sorry, I am waiting for your convocation picture also.
फिर तो वो तो टाइम है, अभी 10 महीने और है.
So Abhishek, like clearing CA that day versus like getting a call from IIM. So which is a better feeling?
Clearing CA. That is more surreal feeling than getting into IIM Ahmedabad. So you can get as a chartered accountant, you have that financial knowledge and you are good with numbers and everything, and you as a person are good in terms of your communication and
Yeah.
everything. So I will tell CA is the best feeling. IIM Ahmedabad is secondary. But then yeah, I'm biased, but it's my feeling.
So Abhishek, one question, like how are CAs like having a back foot versus if I compare to MBA? So where are we lacking as a CA profession? If I compare with the best brands as you mentioned in IIMs.
So I have worked with all.
Yeah.
I have worked with IIM Lucknow guys. I have worked with I'm Kozhikode guys. I'm Mumbai guys. I've worked with all of them.
In Asian brands.
In Asian Paints, I've worked with all of them, and one of the interns from I'm Bangalore. He was interning in our company, so he was to report to me and everything. We discussed with him how the strategies need to moved around, and the basic thing which I see is lacking is in terms of the communication. First is that the confidence. तो कॉन्फिडेंस और नहीं कम्युनिकेशन दो चीज़ें जो एक सीए में लैग करती है when you see an IIM grad when you compare that to him मैंने CA to him.
मेरा एक फ्रेंड है वो भी IIM अहमदाबाद से ही है, तो उसने मुझे यही बोला था एक चीज़ कि से फॉर एग्जांपल अगला दिन आपका बॉस आपको बोलता है रात को कि अगला दिन 100 जन नए हायर हो रहे हैं उसको आपको ट्रेन करना है, तो सीए विल लाइक स्टैमर और एक सीए को लगेगा कि मुझे प्रिपरेशन का टाइम चाहिए, बट इट्स अ केक फॉर एमबीए, विल आई विल डू इट. सो दैट्स द कॉन्फिडेंस वी नीड.
That's the confidence that CA don't generally get, but when you are in that corporate setup or you have
Yeah.
garnered that skills, that helps. That will be a cakewalk, and then you will excel in your interviews also.
And also one of my like senior is from IIM Ahmedabad only. He told me 90% of the people who are in IIMs have less knowledge than CA. But what they know is how to sell themselves.
Yes, that though I will agree. And I will tell, people are not good in terms of finance or anything, but they are good in terms of hard work. And I have seen that many people slog a lot, or they are very well trained in terms of whatever they are speaking up. When I sit in a classroom environment, and I will tell you, being a chartered accountant, I have never thought in that approach only. Being a finance guy, I can tell ki supposedly you see a finance problem or anything. When a non-finance guy speaks, he speaks in like he has seen for the first time, but he will speak such a valid point just because he has an experience and he has studied in depth that thing. But we have started content, we have studied in depth or anything, but we have not thought it in that direction. So the IMs give you, the crowd and the peers give you that direction. That is the biggest thing. And the questions that they ask, that helps you improve your knowledge also, particularly that I have learned in my 14 months in IIM is listen to everyone, whatever they are asking. Your questions are there, definitely people will respect you. You are a chartered accountant, you have a lot of subjects in finance where people will come to you for help or anything. You will also depend on them. There will be some subjects where they are the masters, so it will be a collaborative approach for all.
Abhishek, who should do CA plus MBA? Like after CA, who should do MBA?
If someone has a desire for like pivoting in some other roles like a marketing role or an operations role, then I will tell go for an MBA. Definitely that will help a lot. And someone who is low on confidence and low on communication, I feel he should also go for an MBA. Otherwise, like if you feel that if you want to get into an investment banking role and a PE role, nowadays what
Or
I
strategy
have
role.
strategy role.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I feel doing an MBA can help you. CAs have also got, but what happens in CA is that always that first attempt criterion a ranker. Ranker is always someone who will get that edge and he will get into like a BCG Bain or anything. But for a CA, he has the dream, he has the requisite skill set, but the
That
shortlisting
platform.
criteria will never come up. So that's where we lack. And for that, if you have that desire, you can definitely go for an MBA and you can excel that. In that way around, we can go.
uh, one thing, when I was trying to give MBA, I had in my mind the opportunity loss. Like I would be losing my 2 years of salary, increments, and also a break from my career. Now, is it worth it? Like the opportunity loss versus the benefit I'm going to get?
See, being a chartered accountant, I can tell you that if your salary is somewhere around 25 lakhs and above, okay, if you have that experience and everything and your salary is 25 lakhs and above, then you shouldn't go for the
Full time program.
full-time MBA, okay? Because as you see, you will be landing up at the same package. Okay, I'm talking of the average ones. The creamist gets the highest one, but I'm talking of the average one. But if you are someone like you are at 9, 10, 12 lakhs and you are a fresher like
Yeah.
a 1 year or something, you can go for an MBA. You can go for a full-time MBA or you can join our type of MBA where you are a working professional but you want to do like, but you always have that desire, I can't leave my job
Yeah.
because that will be the financial constraint for me. So you can do this MBA where you get that opportunity to manage your work front also and your MBA also side by side, but the rigor will remain the same of IIM Ahmedabad. IIM Ahmedabad or such programs are offered by IIM Lucknow, IIM Kozhikode. The rigor will remain the same, and whatever you have to manage everything. And I've seen people who are having kids and all. You are managing a family, and they are managing stupendously. Yaar. So it's a very good bunch that I can say.
So if your salary is less, like if you are a fresher and you can take a risk, it's not risk. If you have time, you can buy time. Then go for full time MBA. Nothing is better than full time MBA.
Nothing is better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like if you have already have a good amount of salary, like 25 lakh as mentioned by Abhishek, then go for. And if you have any like budget constraints or you don't want to have that opportunity loss, then the executive or weekend like program MBA is also very crucial, and it in the long run it will help you a lot.
Yeah, and definitely, but also to add one more thing in
Yeah.
terms of someone who is having a 25 lakhs package, but his aim is to move to a different profile.
Yeah.
Then also he can go for a full-time MBA, like an on-campus one MBA. But like ours is a blended one. So if someone don't want to leave that and he wants to continue, definitely he can go for the MBA which I am doing, like managing my job and my MBA particularly.
Abhishek, how much experience is ideal to like now do MBA?
For CAs, I will tell 3 years.
3 years.
3 years. 3 years should be good. So normally a person becomes, if I am thinking of first attempt everything he has done. So uh, 23 he becomes a CA, 23, 22, and post that he can apply for like 2, 3 years of job and then go for an MBA.
I had a poor marks in my 10 and 12, and in college I had a like normal marks. So that thing always used to haunt me. Like this will be a very big obstacle for me to crack my dream college. So is it so? Like is my CA and my profile working in M&A will cover it up?
So every college
Yeah.
has its marking scheme and a shortlisting criteria. So every college has that marks distribution. So if you have got something less marks in
Yeah.
class 10 and 12, if that college has that criteria, then you have to excel in other like college marks or the other professional achievements or anything. So and your the workings that you have got. So if you are excelling in that, your CAT score are good, then your chances of coming is higher. And if you have very good marks in 10 and 12 but your college marks are down, then vice versa happens. And but if your school marks 10 and 12 marks are down and if that college is having the criteria, then though it will be a mismatch. So that's the shortlisting criteria that we have currently in IIMs, so we can't change
And
it.
so Abhishek, if someone wants to crack BPGP and PGPX, then what are the criteria? Like is it the same criteria as you mentioned for full time MBA?
There are other criteria also. You have to be in a good corporate. The work ex also plays a very big role, how much you have covered. So there are weightages given to your profile also. And the second is in terms of the scores that you get and the interview. So the weightage of the interview will be higher than your marks.
Okay.
So that way the things goes.
The subjects are same like as of CAT.
Yeah, the subjects remains the same. Like you get LRDI, you get English, it remains the same.
Okay. So, which college to aim for, Abhishek? Like, if I am a CA, should I go for a tier 2 or tier 3 college, or should I aim only tier 1?
Tier 1. For CAs, I think only tier 1 can be the best opportunity, because you as a finance, you always have that leverage.
Yeah.
And all the B schools that I have seen is they always prefer that finance persons in their profile. So they try to make a cohort in such a way that there are some part of finance, some part of data analytics, some part of engineer, some part of HR. So definitely one should only aim for, first is ABC, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta.
Then KLI.
KLM is there. KLM, till KLM I can tell.
And if I speak about Abhishek, like if I am a CA having a core background in finance, then now my interest is to move to marketing or HR. Is it possible? Like,
Yeah. I've seen my friends moving out. So
and the
it's,
growth is also good over there.
yeah, definitely. You as a finance person knows everything.
Yeah.
As a finance guy, you know how to negotiate with someone, how to convince someone. Okay, so you have that leverage, and marketing in itself is what, or a sales background. You need that, and you try to get that added advantage from others. So yeah.
So, how are like organizations accepting it? Like, if an employee is doing MBA, so are they happy to promote them?
Yeah, definitely. So, uh, so last year, 2024, last year, I will remember when our cohort started.
Yeah.
All of the corporate supported, and people are there from big companies like McKinsey is there, for Asian Paints I am there, and other corporates like KPMG is there, Deloitte is there, PwC is there, EY is there. Then every other corporate, Siemens is there. Again, I'm just naming
Hmm.
few. Indian government is there. So their candidates are doing MBA. So they are also wanting something like that. And I feel, see, MBA as a degree is a different degree in itself, where you get a holistic experience. I will tell MBA as an experience. BA is definitely a degree, but for me, it's more than degree. It's an experience that you get, the learnings that you get, and the bonds that you build up.
Okay. So coming towards some personal questions, like some rapid fire questions. So first question is like a typical day, how a typical day look like in Asian Paints?
So my day starts at around 10:30. I start my day at around 10:30. Then you have lots of meetings. You have to train people. You have to negotiate with all. That's how the day goes. And at around 7:38, I end my day. And as soon as the day ends, what I do is जो भी जैसे जो सिंगल इंडिविजुअल कंट्रीब्यूटर वाले रोल होते हैं अपने, कि जैसे तुमको ये करना है, वो सारे काम मैं 8 बजे के बाद ले लेता हूँ, क्योंकि यू गेट दैट पीस ऑफ माइंड एंड यू ट्राई टू डू दैट. एंड post coming home, I try to do my IIM stuffs also, whatever pre-readings and all are there, and study if any exams and all are there, and then try to chill. It's a normal day routine that I have currently.
Any particular event or particular day where you have got lots of thrill or you have felt a sense of achievement?
The sense of achievement when I felt is recently in one of our subsidiaries. I remember we uh, we tried to achieve the financial number which we were targeting. So that was the sense of achievement, and it was a very decent achievement in October in itself. So that's self achievement that one gets. The second achievement that I can talk about is you were going for a full scale ERP implementation in a company. So, and that happened is on the night when we are implementing it, there is some technical difficulty, and the whole production and everything is stopped because you are not able to implement it. Since you have to implement it coordination with others, but somehow your role is more. So, yeah, getting that done also was a sense of feeling the how the things have started moving.
Lovely. Abhishek, what are the key skills or like technical skills like Excel or like Microsoft Office tools required in your organization? or overall in industry?
In industry, I feel one should be excellent in Excel. Second is PowerPoint, PPTs and all. You need to be excellent in that. Basic PPTs. You don't need fancy
Yeah,
stuffs like you need animations or anything. You should be conversant in making good PPTs and understandable PPTs. Like when I was in FDD, since you are also in FDD, you will understand ki how we make crisp PPTs where you put up that table. If the
yeah,
table is speaking, we will not be putting any words.
correct.
So that way around, and the third is in terms of the ERPs that are going around. So nowadays, many of the industry things that we are seeing is they have a particular set of ERPs. Like we have SAP. So if that person knows anything, background of SAP also works. Or like Zoho, if someone is using Zoho, Indian made Zoho, so Zoho should be there. Or Tally, basic requirement is there for Tally. That I will say, and some like Power BI, Azure, or other Microsoft Power tools like Power Queries and all. If someone knows it, it's an added advantage that one gets in the industry because people try to see what can he bring more to the table for us. So yeah, and getting knowledge from other fields like someone who has knowledge of marketing or HR, that's also a very big knowledge that
Yeah,
one can bring on the table. If someone is good at supposedly an article, many of the CA firm does statutory compliances piece. So many of the articles comes up that they know in and out of the PF registration process. If you are good at that, if you're bringing that on the table of a corporate, it's an added advantage.
got it. And what are the key skills that differentiate a successful person in industry versus a normal guy?
या आई एम
Like,
नॉट दैट सक्सेसफुल अभी
because
तक इंडस्ट्री में
हर कोई तो
बट
CFO नहीं बनता.
ये मेरे पास अभी आंसर भी नहीं होगा बिकॉज इट्स अ लॉन्ग जर्नी फॉर मी इट्स
You
लाइक
are being
व्हाट
humble, but
नहीं यार ये हो नहीं सकता मैंने it's a experienced person who has got it. You can ask the question to him only because I will not be able to answer this.
फिर भी for the young chartered accountants.
एक तो I will tell confidence. The second is being humble. मैंने nowadays when I see some or the other team members, you try to be aggressive. You try to be uh, not listening to the other person, or you try to follow your pattern of working. So you have to be agile to adapt to the pattern of the working. So यानी आपके हिसाब से तो कंपनी चलेगी अगर आपके वर्किंग अच्छी है उससे कंपनी को बेनिफिट हो रहा है देन योर बॉस विल आल्सो बी हैप्पी ही विल नेवर क्वेश्चन यू बट सम डे दैट गोज अराउंड गोज बैड योर बॉस विल प्रॉप यू आउट कि भाई तेरे कारण हो गए सो वो एक होता है कि आई विल टेल कि एक एजिलिटी होनी चाहिए चेंज करने का अडेप्टेबिलिटी
So Abhishek, one situation-based question. If you get a chance, you have one option to choose. If you get a rank in CA versus you get into IIMs, so which will you choose?
गेटिंग इनटू एन ऐप
IIM. Lovely. Lastly, Abhishek, any advice for the aspiring CAs watching our content?
Definitely, yaar, go for the opportunities, whatever you get. And one myth that I want to highlight in your podcast is in many of the students, what I see when they reach out to me in LinkedIn for guidance and all, what I have seen is that they lack a lot of confidence. In CA final, if you will agree,
Yeah.
if a person who has studied diligently and he's true to himself that he's studying and he's trying to capture all the knowledge and he's trying to being analytical and solving all the past papers and everything, he has definitely excelled and cleared it in first attempt. But a person who is try to uh, visiting with his phone, then managing the studies, managing his girlfriends, managing his friends, see, that's not how CA final will be
Hmm.
cleared. So I feel that way one has to change. So for in your podcast, I'm telling for CA final students, I can tell be true to yourself and be focused in what you are trying to achieve, and it's not at all hard. Okay? It's hard in terms of the content that you have got to cover. It's very huge. I will agree, but it's not that you have to learn everything. You can go. What I used to follow is I used to follow an ABC part. how we used to learn ना the ABC
Pareto analysis.
Pareto analysis 80-20 का रूल
Yeah.
लगाओ. 80% अगर तुम्हारा सिलेबस कवर कर रहा है, तुमको अगर वो पास करा सकता है तो उस पर फोकस करो. और ऐसा तो नहीं है कि पैटर्न चेंज होता है सीए का. सीए फाइनल का पैटर्न हैज रिमेन्ड सेम. और आई हैव सीन दैट इट गोज इन अ कांस्टेंट ट्रेंड. One or two cases have come up where, like in our case, November 2020,
Yeah.
the SFM pattern changed. Okay, so that way around the things can change, but be true to yourself and be adaptable. And yeah, if anything, any changes comes up by ACI at any last moment, you have to be agile and you have to be confident, I feel, in terms of whatever you are writing. See, getting degree, and if you write crap, no one will pass you. I have seen a lot of papers, some of my friends check papers, and when we see answers, you write X, and in the suggested answer it's Y. Then you ask ICI has made a mistake. ICI has not made a mistake. There is an X and there is a Y.
Yeah.
So, and hard work and being true to oneself, I will tell, is the key to achieve.
One of our teachers used to say that if you are an intelligent person and you are hardworking, then you are surely getting a rank.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you are intelligent but if you are not hardworking, then you are guaranteed going to be like
Yeah.
failing in life.
Definitely. And in CA final, na, see, people tell that hard work and everything is definitely that's 99% important. 1% your luck will work. Definitely 1% luck is always there. But luck will only subordinate the ones who is hardworking and who is intelligent. It will not subordinate the one ki भगवान भरोसे. That can't happen
Yeah.
anywhere around. And many people I have seen that मैं तो लिख कर आ गया, अब देखा जाएगा जो भगवान देता है.
मेरे को तो ये लगता है एक ही लाइफ मिली यार, मतलब you have to be the champion in your
Yeah,
eyes.
that 5 months that you get, it's when I get that feeling of that 5 months, when you get that, you slog for 18 hours, and when you get into an IIM, I can tell you that the feeling that you get ना कि तुमने तो 18 घंटे रख लिया है, काम करा हुआ है, तुम पढ़ाई भी की हुई है, तो तुम्हारे लिए ये क्या है, तुम कुछ भी कर सकते हो. And in job also, when you see that you have slogged 18 hours, so job में भी क्या है, किसी दिन ज़्यादा खट लेंगे, it goes that way around, और ज़्यादा काम कर लेंगे और आउटपुट भी अच्छा निकलता है जब आप मन से करते हो. तो that 5 month teaches you a lot. And there is one saying that I can say, if someone would have watched Kota Factory, that Jitu Bhaiya saying that 21 days rule, that's very valid. Meaning the 21-day rule, if you are doing something for 21 days, or if you're sitting somewhere around 21 days and studying, and if you're following that routine for 21 days, and if you're following that for the next few months, that will definitely give you outcome. That was my take from Kota Factory. I remember that time only it came up when I was clearing my CA finals.
Yeah.
That
COVID
time only it came up. So I remember I watched it.
Thank you so much, Abhishek, for your valuable time. And it really means a lot because I've also learned many things from you today.
Today I've learned from many things from your side also. The things that you told by summarizing my content, that helped me a lot also to understand.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching my content. Please follow and subscribe me. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.